We have some leaked Mew gameplay, and I'm just going to start with it, and then we can talk about it here. So, taking a look, we have Mew heading to the bottom path here. It's got two of its moves, Solar Beam and Coaching. You see it backs up, uses Solar Beam, and then it's going to use its Synchronize ability here to switch its moves. It's going to pick up Surf, and it's going to pick up Light Screen. Again, we'll talk about all the moves here in a moment. It's going to put up its Light Screen, use Surf to go through it, back up and hit with a boosted attack here, and then you can see Light Screen sort of hanging out on Mew after it uses that move. Going to peel back here. Once again, we have a Light Screen. The Light Screen ended up being behind it, and now the Light Screen is behind Mew. It's going to give it defenses in some way. We'll look at that here in just a moment. Surf pushing the enemies around. And then that is about the end of our fight here. Let's take a look. So there's a lot here, and we're going to go through it piece by piece and all the information we have on Mew, its moves, and everything that we've got currently before it releases. Hi, Jake, your resident content cowboy. Yeehaw. So let's take a look at what we have officially. Officially, they've showed off Light Screen here with a Solar Beam being shot through it. Electro Ball, Solar Beam, or Surf all can go through Light Screen, and it looks like it boosts their effects from what it says. I don't know if that necessarily only means damage, or for instance with Surf, as we saw in the video earlier, if you're getting actually extra push or something like that with it, we're going to have to find out. But when you think about extra effects, with Solar Beam and Electro Ball, all I could think is damage. Maybe with Electro Ball, perhaps a longer stun when you throw the ball. Now what it says, use it again to move the wall closer to Mew, reducing damage from enemy attacks. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but we're going to take a look at the video again and see exactly how that possibly played out. And maybe I got it wrong when I was initially looking at it, because it looked like it's almost like you threw your move through it, or a boosted attack through it, and then it started to appear near you. But we'll take a look at that again. They also showed off Mew using Electro Ball, which is just Electro Ball that Pikachu has, basically. It says it paralyzes them for a short time, which I don't know if the game uses that terminology, but that's fine. The lower the health is, the more damage is dealt. So it looks like it has essentially each character's version of Electro Ball, Solar Beam, and Surf. It's got Blastoise's Surf, Venusaur's Solar Beam, and Pikachu's Electro Ball. They've also shown off its Unite move here, which seems pretty beastly. So Mystical Mirage, it creates an area of effect where everyone inside of it is essentially invisible, so you can set up some pretty interesting plays with something like this. You could have your team retreat, or you could trick the enemy. You could have one of your squishier Pokemon hide for a moment while the rest of your team fights, and while this is happening, Mew is invincible. So this is a really interesting move because it sets up plays where, you know, you get in there ready for a big team fight or something at Rayquaza, and then all of a sudden you use a move like this and the enemy doesn't know where your allies are, and anything that they have thrown, so if they've all used Unite moves or something like that, for at least a moment, you are invisible and they can't target anyone. This is great for stalling. There are actually a lot of situations that this could be really, really useful in. We're gonna have to see what it looks like in-game, but it sounds pretty sick. Now let's talk about some of Mew's moves, and we can see how they worked inside that video. So this is from Niter77 on Twitter. I'll go ahead and link them in the description of this video. We can take a look at some of the moves here. Mew's passive is synchronized, and we actually saw that in the video. Each time this Pokemon uses a move, it and all nearby allies have their movement speed increased for a short time, so that's pretty amazing. They've listed this Pokemon as an attacker, but it has many abilities that feel very supporter-y. When the Pokemon reaches level 5, the move reset icon can be used to reset the Pokemon's moves and learn new ones. The icon goes on cooldown after it's used. Each time the Pokemon knocks out or makes an assist on the opposing team or scores a goal, the cooldown of move reset is reduced. Using move reset reduces the cooldown of the Pokemon's Unite move. So there's going to be a lot of strategy within using that to reduce your Unite move. The question is, if you use it and then just pick the same moves that you were already using, if you just happen to like those moves, do you just get your Unite move cooldown reduced? I don't know. We're gonna have to find out. Let's take a look at this being used in the video. So we see Mew moving down here. Again, we have a little bit of a fight. We'll take a look at these moves here in a sec. And then up on the top right here, I don't know if you can, I don't think you can see my mouse when I do this, but up on the top right, you can see the reset ability. and it goes on cooldown right about now, and it resets its moves here. You can see on one side, you have your choice between 3 options: Electro Ball, Solar Beam, and Surf. And then on the other side, you have a choice between 3 options. You have the light screen, you have coaching, and then you have the other one that now I'm blanking on, which I believe is extreme speed. Hold on. Sorry, I'm dumb. Not extreme speed, agility. So those are your 3 other options. So Mew has 6 moves to choose from, which is more than any other Pokemon in the game. And it also means that we could be heading into a realm where Pokemon get back the sort of 6 moves that they were originally going to have inside the game, but it also could just be a fun function for Mew. So there we go. We saw it use its ability and choose new moves. Something to note here is it had Solar Beam and Coaching, and it doesn't look like either of those moves are not selectable. So if it does lower the cooldown of your Unite move, it's possible that you can just, again, select the same moves that you're already enjoying and just have your Unite move come up faster. Taking a look at its basic attacks, each time it uses a move, it gets a boost counter to a maximum of 3 counters. After 3, the next attack becomes boosted. It consumes all boost counters and launches a ball of psychic energy. The farther it travels, the more damage it deals. We actually do see that in the video as well. So right here, when Mew uses Light Screen, you see a stack go up on its boosted counter, and then as soon as it uses Surf, boom, you see it gets a boosted attack, and it looks like as it's surfing, it uses its boosted right there, and we can see it hit this Buzzwole with it. And I couldn't tell how much damage it did. It looked pretty light. Let's take a look one more time at that. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but it didn't seem like very much damage. But also, I mean, we're just looking at this clip real quickly, and it's kind of hard to tell. One of its moves, Electro Ball, again, we've kind of seen this shown off. It basically just feels like Pikachu's Electro Ball. Its upgrade increases the strength of the paralysis inflicted by the move. So again, that feels more supporter-y than Pikachu. Over here on Unite DB, when Pikachu gets the upgrade, it increases the damage done. So pretty interesting. Solar Beam has the user shoot a bundled beam of light, dealing damage to the opponents. If this move hits a Pokemon, the user gains 1 additional boost counter. So this actually sets up your boost counter even higher. And then Solar Beam Plus on this reduces the move's cooldown for each opposing Pokemon hit. And I know that says each opposing Pokemon hit. So you could be casting Solar Beams like crazy in some of the final fights. And again, very early in our video, we do see it use Coaching to give a shield here, and then I believe, yes, then it fires a Solar Beam right there. But I believe that's the last time we see this move used because it ends up resetting its moves here. Yes. Now let's talk about Surf, which we see a few times in the video. Has the user charge forward on a wave, shoving opposing Pokemon. The user gains a shield and becomes immune to hindrances while using this move. At the end, the user could jump in the designated direction, just like Blastoise, and the upgrade increases the effect of the shield granted while using this move. It's interesting because I believe Blastoise only gets a shield on its Surf once it gets to its upgraded version, and it looks like this gets one the whole time. Just really quickly checking on Unite DB here, and yes, it only gets a shield once Blastoise gets to level 13, and it actually feels like a pretty good shield. This is a small shield, but I think it feels like a pretty good shield. Now that we know about the shield and the hindrance reduction, let's take a look at it one more time in this video. So there it is. It's shooting through, and we actually do see a little shield on Mew's health there as it's backing up. So it does give it a little something as it moves through with that Surf. I believe it's going to cast it again here, so I just kind of want to see it. Puts up the light screen. Here comes Surf. Soon, right, Mew? Yeah, and you do get a small shield in that moment. Let's talk about one of its other skills, a skill that I think is really interesting, which is Coaching. Has the user move toward an ally, grant that Pokemon a shield, and increase that Pokemon's basic attack speed. If this move is used on an ally that has not been coached, its cooldown resets immediately, so you can kind of bounce around, as you see in this image, to multiple teammates, giving them all shields and giving them all increased attack speed. If this move is used on a recently coached Pokemon, it goes on cooldown. The cooldown of Electro Ball, Solar Beam, or Surf is reduced each time this move is used. So imagine you hit with Solar Beam, maybe multiple enemies, the cooldown is reduced, then you coach, Solar Beam's back, hit again. I mean, this could just be pretty wild. And then the upgrade here reduces this move's cooldown, and oops, and it reduces the waiting time before this move can be used on a recently coached Pokemon, again, without triggering its cooldown. So this is another reason why Mew kind of feels a little bit like a supporter and attacker all rolled into one. Let's take a look at coaching in the video again. Right at the top of this video, we see it use coaching as it backs up here, and you can see it gives a shield to Blissey here in this moment as it backs up. And I don't believe it uses it again. I think that's... Oh, no, it does use it again on Scyther right there. So it uses coaching on Scyther. Let's take a look at the cooldown reduction here for Solar Beam. So Solar Beam hits. It has a 9-second cooldown. And then we see it flash back using coaching, basically. Let me see if I can just move this back here. We're on a 7-second cooldown for Solar Beam. It hits with a boosted... 7 seconds. It uses coaching. And we're at 6 seconds. And I think it just knocked a second off there, right? Just wall at it. Yeah, right as it happens. So you can see we're at 6 seconds. And then as soon as coaching hits Scyther, we drop down to 5 seconds. So it takes an entire second off the cooldown of your move. Let's take a look at Light Screen here. Light Screen's pretty interesting. So you create a translucent wall at the designated location. Opposing Pokemon cannot pass through the wall and will be shoved if they make contact. So it's almost like Mr. Mime's, setup, but also Snorlax. So it's kind of more like a Snorlax block that's just sitting there. If Electro Ball, Solar Beam, or Surf pass through the wall, the effects of the move, damage, range, area of effect will be boosted. That's interesting. Range. Like Solar Beam's range getting boosted even more. Jeez. If the move is used again, it pulls the wall closer and has its move with the user. While the wall moves with the user, attacks from opposing Pokemon that pass through it receive reduced damage. So that's what's happening inside the match here. And then its upgrade increases the size of the wall. Let's take a look at it and how it kind of sucks to Mew. So this is the point of the video where we see them. They have switched to Surf and Light Screen. They put the Light Screen up. They use Surf through it. And then they back up, and they've used Light Screen again to immediately give themselves the shield. So I thought this had something to do with a boosted attack, but they actually seem to use it as soon as they move through it. They immediately grab the Light Screen and put it on themselves as sort of a front-facing shield right there, which is pretty cool. We also see them use this move again, and it's behind them. So they're in front of the Light Screen right here. They tap the Light Screen button again, and now it is on the back side of them, reducing damage that they would receive there. So it just feels like after you throw your move through it, you throw your Light Screen again. It sucks to you like a shield. I mean, there doesn't feel like there's a huge reason not to, unless you really want to block the path of the enemy. A move that we don't see in this video is Agility. Has the user move quickly in the designated direction, increasing move speed. A maximum of 2 uses can be kept in reserve. The upgrade increases the distance the user moves in the designated location. So this is a dash. It feels like maybe the least interesting part of the kit, but at the same time, sometimes a dash is incredibly valuable. We're gonna have to see what it actually feels like once we get it inside a game. And then of course we have the Unite move that we got to see in that video. Again, right now, this is all the information we currently have on Mew, but a lot of it seems really exciting, really interesting. And again, it feels like, yes, this is an attacker, but also kind of built like a supporter. I would love to know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I will see you all next time.